And it is now day 4 of the testimony in the trial against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Today, the defense began cross-examining Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, after she accused him of rape and physical violence towards her. Scripps News national correspondent Alex Miller is live in New York. Alex, you have been inside that courtroom for days now. The entire time, what new happened this morning?
Well, this is a different day for Cassie Ventura. She spent the last 2 days on the stand being examined by the prosecution, bolstering the case and her argument that she was coerced into those freak-offs with Sean Combs for more than a decade. Now, we heard from her attorney last night after she got out, after direct examination was finished, ahead of the cross-examination. Let's listen to what he had to say before we explain exactly what went down today.
The whole thing was powerful, and she told her truth. I wouldn't want to be having to do that cross-examination, that's for sure. We have great faith in the jury system. We're going to let the jury decide, obviously, Mr. Combs' faith, but today was just a powerful day.
So obviously the cross-examination looking very different than what we heard from Cassie Ventura for the most part over the last 2 days or so. The defense even saying yesterday that they needed to change their strategy a bit because the prosecution had asked different questions than they were initially anticipated, and they have to base their cross-examination off of the way that the prosecution asked these questions. Initially, they started talking about their relationship, the love that they shared over the course of many years, particularly at the beginning. The jury saw lots of text messages flying back and forth between the two, saying how much they missed each other, that they would, at one point in 2008, Cassie said, "I'd fly wherever you needed me, whenever." Combs said, "I never knew it could be like this." She said he was sweet. He was attentive at the beginning of the relationship. Obviously, a little bit in contrast to what we heard from her on the stand the last 2 days. But then they started to talk more about the freak-offs. The important part for the defense today and in their cross-examination is that they have to establish that these freak-offs were not coerced, that she was a willing participant. And so that is what we really saw the text messages based around today. They want to take the sting out of this. There was one message where she said, "I'm always ready to freak off." There was an email exchange where she said she just wanted to feel more comfortable in those moments. Again, not necessarily saying that she didn't want to be doing so. If anything, the defense has spent a lot of time talking about the fact that she wanted to be seen as his girlfriend. We've heard over the last 2 days that we know that she realized eventually that this was not a monogamous relationship. And so today there's a little bit more digging into that, saying essentially that she was concerned at points that she was merely just a freak-off partner, if you will, rather than a girlfriend that he had these kinds of experiences with. They also got a bit into the drug issues, the fact that she asked him for medication, prescription medication, multiple times over. She said that she had an addiction. She also said that he had an addiction at points. The only parts of the freak-offs that we heard her really speak negatively about in this context was we saw a message where she told him that she felt dirty and grimy, and that this is, in a sense, something that she wasn't comfortable with at that point. But remember, the defense really needs to establish that this is something that she was basically a willing participant for. In the last 2 days, we heard her say that she did it because she felt like she had to. They really need to establish that she wanted to be doing this, whether it was to make him happy or just on behalf of their relationship as a whole. They did touch also on her calling incessantly. Estevao, the attorney who was doing this cross-examination, she asked Cassie why she thought that he was calling her incessantly. She said it was for a variety of things, but one of the things that she said, Combs always suspected her of cheating. We know that they went in and out of their relationship, that there were a lot of ups and downs, so this is part of why she believes he might have been calling her incessantly. So they're really taking the story from the prosecution and really trying to flip it on its head to make it seem like this is just part of their relationship. You know, one of the things we knew, Andrew, going into the trial today, or the trial as a whole, was that they were going to bring up this swingers defense, that it was the idea that they were just a couple who was hooking up with another couple, but that isn't what she says it was. She was asked directly about this. Estevao asked her if the freak-offs were similar to a swingers lifestyle, and she said they were only similar in the sexual nature, not in the actual relationship aspect. She said that was very different. So it's going to be interesting to see how the defense continues with this dynamic, if the swingers lifestyle is really a big part of their defense. They had Karen Friedman Agnifilo, Mark Agnifilo, the lead attorney's wife, who also happens to be representing Luigi Mangione, in the gallery today. At points, she was seen talking to the legal team there, including Estevao, the one doing the cross-examination. So still a lot more to get into when they get back from lunch in the next couple of minutes.
Another eventful start to the day in what is day 4 for this Diddy trial. We are going to check back with you, national correspondent Alex Miller, live for us. Alex, thank you for breaking it all down.